Okay, hello, and good evening if you're in India. It's December 1st, Thursday, and today we have a special guest, Dr. Rashmi Menon. First, I'm just going to give you an informal introduction to Dr. Rashmi. She's my friend and colleague for many years. We met because of our common path of being vegan and whole food plant-based. And we met through the organization Sharan that I used to work in, and Rashmi was briefly associated with, and I was associated with them for a longer time. And I have met so many wonderful people when I came on this path of being vegan and being whole food plant-based. And what always inspired me about Rashmi is that she was effortlessly raw vegan. I think it's been 8 years now that you have been raw vegan. And I know her from a little bit before that. And it was always inspiring because I knew that that is the right way to eat, but I was not able to do it because I loved all the cooked food that I was used to. It was hard enough for me to be whole food plant-based because in my family, which is a Punjabi family, there was a lot of use of dairy and oil and sugar and all those things. So it took me some time, but it was always wonderful to have Rashmi as a friend and a colleague because she was like a role model. And very often when I thought that I should go raw, I would think, if Rashmi can do it, I can also do it. And this is what she does. And maybe if I do this, then I can do this. So, it's great to follow people on social media and all these people in the US and Europe and so on. But to have somebody that you know in person and who's in India and who's following this lifestyle is inspiring at another level, because it's like those people you don't really know, but here you see someone, you eat with them, you meet them, you talk to them, and they are living the lifestyle that you are aspiring to. So she is part of the reason that I have been able to come this far in my journey and been able to adopt eating raw and eating high fruits that I discovered in November 2020. And it has been an amazing journey. I know it's not easy. I know that it's not something everybody can do at, all of a sudden. But I first heard about raw veganism 10 years ago. And ever since then, this idea was in my head that I have to give it a try. So over time, I would do a day on raw or feasting on raw at Ekadashi on fruit, or do a challenge for 3 days or 5 days. And like that, slowly, I trained my mind, my body, my taste buds to fall in love with the raw living foods. And now, as you know, I eat primarily raw and living foods. And in the summer, I've been fully raw since April. And only now I'm going to probably have some little bit of hot food if I feel like once in a while this month. And then I'm going to go back to being raw again very soon. And again, in the summer, I just love being fully raw. And many of you know that I did a 2 weeks on just fruit, only fruit. And it was a remarkable journey. But today I want to talk to Dr. Rashmi and get all of you to ask your questions as well. So I thought I'll just share her formal introduction. I won't read it all, but the main points. Dr. Rashmi Menon is a qualified medical doctor and a lifestyle disease reversal expert. She specializes in homeopathy, psychotherapy, whole food plant-based nutrition, naturopathy, sound therapy, yoga, and clinical hypnotherapy. She's also a certified yoga teacher from the Yoga Institute. And she has been guiding her patients to manage and reverse lifestyle diseases. I know that. She's been doing it for over 2 decades because I myself have sent so many of the clients that were on heavy medications or were in advanced stages of disease or had something, a very serious illness, for example, like cancer. I would send such clients to her. And she has supported me in handling the medications of some of the clients who do coaching with me. So since a very early age, she has been intrigued by the mystical and deeper secrets of life. And she has been a regular meditator and initiated into Vipassana since the age of She's a compassionate listener, and I know that firsthand. And her passion for holistic healing has seen her facilitate many miraculous healings, even in terminal cases. And I myself know several patients with cancer that she has treated, and many other people with advanced stages of diseases. Patients of all ages, children, young age, they easily relate to her. And she has successfully helped many people with diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, renal diseases, endometriosis, PCOD, depression, thyroid cancer, etc. And she works very holistically with the mind, body, and nutrition, keeping everything into mind. She conducts many retreats, corporate workshops, group sessions, meditations, and so on, and also does consultations one-to-one at her clinic as well as online. And she's a raw foodist by choice since 2016 and a lifelong student on the path of sustainable living and healing. And yes, she's very inspiring in that sense as well. She's a minimalist, and I've seen that, and she lives her values. So having said all that, my first question to you is that tell us a little bit about your own journey of coming onto this path of healing.
First of all, thank you, Nandini, for the extremely good work that you have been doing around the ages, because I know of many people who have turned vegan, who have turned whole food plant-based because of your talks, because of your book, especially the 2 books that you have put out.
Thank you.
So it's really great. And now, since the raw journey has started, many of my patients were on the Navratri group that you have put together. And they have been telling me of the effects, of the positive effects that they have had. So thank you for doing everything that you do. Yeah. And what was your question? I forgot that.
Yeah, what brought you onto this path? What made you come on to being vegan, whole food plant-based, then raw foodist?
Yeah, so veganism started in 2010 because I belong to a Kerala family from Kerala who are non-vegetarians. So, but right from the age of 3, I had developed a connect to the animals around me. And that's when I stopped eating meat. It was difficult for a 3-year-old child to say that I'll not eat meat, but somehow I managed. The effect being that I would fake stomach problems whenever there was meat cooked in the family. And in those days, meat was not cooked so often. So I only had to fake a stomach pain maybe once in a month or something. And I would be taken to doctors and they would give me injections because they couldn't find out why I'm having this stomach pain. So my not eating meat started then, but I would still consume milk and eggs. And after Vipassana, I developed a habit of connecting with the food, mindful eating, connecting with how it feels inside my body. And I think that has been the start of my journey, wherein I started connecting intuitively with the food, eating intuitively, though at that time it was not very intense. That's when the eggs dropped off. That was when I was 18 years old or something. And then I was in my 30s and I was suffering from a lot of ailments, psychosomatic and otherwise. I had endometriosis, I had asthma, I was overweight, a little bit of depression, the whole thing. And I also was suffering from low bone density in my hips. And that was the time then that when I went to the orthopedic, they were recommending increasing the calcium intake. I was put on calcium and vitamin D, but also I've been advised to take a lot of food that are high in calcium. As a doctor myself, I also believed that, okay, milk and dairy products were high in calcium, so I have to take that. So I was eating like 3-4 meals with dairy in it. That's when I was not feeling very good about it either. That's when one of my friends who was there on Facebook those days, Lisa, she sent me some videos and some articles about how dairy was cruel to the animals. But my belief was that if I left dairy, where will I get my calcium from? Then I was also told that if the calcium levels don't come up, I'll have to go for a hip replacement. And I was in my 30s. So then I was in denial. I told her, this happens in your US, not in my India. In my India, we take care of our animals, take care of our cows. The cow is our mother and all that stuff. So then she started sending me videos about the cruelty in the Indian dairy industry. Still, I wouldn't believe it because finally I was selfish. I wanted to save my hip. So I started going to the dairies which are around here near my house and just figuring out where are the cows, what is the condition of the cows, what is the condition of the udders. And I did not like what I saw. So I had this big dharam sankat in front of me. On one hand, if I give up the dairy products, I'll have to go for hip replacement surgery. And on the other hand, every time I'm eating something which had dairy in it, I was suffering from this guilt complex. So it was a tough decision, but I thought that my mental health is more important. So I started weaning off the dairy. And it took almost, I think, 6 months to a year for me to completely wean off the dairy. And in 2010, I finally managed to clean up everything. And the positive effect was that within a month, I saw that my hip pain has reversed. I no longer had any hip pain. And my bone density also started coming up normal. And I am off even in 2010, by the end of 2010, I got off all of the calcium supplements. I was still on vitamin D, but calcium supplements were off and my bone density was normal. That's what, but still, for my patients, I was still recommending, okay, dairy and stuff when they had calcium problems, because that is what we are taught. And as a doctor, we cannot just say what we are experiencing, because every person is different. What if their experience is different, right? So I needed valid data. But then since I'm experiencing this, my acidity is gone, my asthma is gone, my endometriosis issues where I used to faint during my periods, I didn't even feel I had a period. It was that smooth. So I couldn't deny it any longer, but I needed some valid proof. So I went on to these websites by Dr. PCRM, the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine, nutritionfacts.org, and I started following them, got onto their mails. And that's how I started understanding not just about veganism, but about something called whole food plant-based clean eating. And I started incorporating it into my life and also advising it little by little to my patients. And then I got to know, okay, there's a doctor in India who does it and takes workshops on it, Dr. Nandita Shah. And that's when I went to Dr. Nandita Shah's 10-day course, which they had for consultants, in which you were also, facilitator. And that's when I got a slightly more confidence that, okay, this is how I can put it into a proper stream. And even though I was still practicing homeopathy, I was still practicing psychotherapy, I still do. But I saw this as an expansion of this box that I had put in, and encouraging the holistic part of it, not just about medicine, not just about the mind, but the environment, about the food. So that opened up a completely different space for me in terms of healing. And I saw that my patients were really getting better and better and better. So
actually,
then there
that was my
a
next question. I wanted to ask you, what motivated you? And by the way, if other people have questions, please put them in the chat box and I will invite you to ask after we finish the first round. My question to you was, what motivated you to give up homeopathy, or not exactly give up, but move from homeopathy towards nutrition-based advice for your patients?
So the expansion from homeopathy started in the form of psychotherapy and clinical hypnotherapy. Because if any one of you have gone to a homeopath, you would know that even if you come with a sneeze, we ask you questions about how your sleep, about your dreams, about your sweating, everything. Because homeopathy is a holistic science by itself. We don't look at the person as a disease. We look at the person as an individual. And we try to treat the individualistic aspects of the person. So mind plays a big role in it. So I started thinking about, what if we can work on the mind differently. Nowadays, there are courses in which homeopaths are looking at homeopathic psychotherapy as well. During that time when I started, there was nothing of that sort, but I did a course in psychotherapy. I did another workshops, 5 levels of clinical hypnotherapy, and I started working on this aspect of it. But food coming in, it's like it completed the circle in a sense, because the mind is good, but the body is also important. So that's how I got into the food part of it. But I do give homeopathy, especially nowadays with the new symptoms coming in. So it's better that when my patient has an exacerbation and they're not able to take care of it or to go through this and allow the detox to happen, they usually would reach out for an allopathic medicine, which is more damaging. So rather than that, I prefer to give a homeopathic dose, which will aid their own vital force to take out the symptoms rather than suppress it with a allopathic dose. So it's not that I've completely given up homeopathy, but yes, the dependence is very, very less. Because what I also found is, even in my patients, we are all looking for easy ways out. Changing your lifestyle is difficult. So if you have a medicine, then it is better to just depend on the medicine, and then it becomes a dependency. Even if it is a natural medicine, even if it is natural herb, or even something as mild as homeopathy, it does become a dependency. So then the process was not just for me to wean off the medicine, but also make my patients wean it off. And yes, I did lose a lot of patients during the process, because nobody wants to, go through the tough path. We are all looking for the easy part, but we don't know that shortcuts ultimately turn out to be the longest paths.
Yeah, and to be filled with suffering and pain
Exactly.
down the line.
You're just suppressing it, and there's no point there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like people often say that, why are you doing this? Isn't it hard? Why are you depriving yourself? Why are you eating only raw food? Why are you eating only fruit? Why are you even doing this? But the thing is, it's far more painful to be sick, to have pain in the body, or to have migraines or upset stomach, or feel tiredness, and look at the mirror and not feel happy because you see spots and wrinkles and dark circles and hair fall. That's far more painful in the long run. That's far more painful. It's not that painful if you connect with the food and you feel how good it feels in the body. Actually, the reason I was able to do it effortlessly in the 2 months that I did is because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. And of course, during some of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you would have seen that Dr. Rashmi and I were together. And honestly, that was the most enjoyable part for me, to have somebody who was eating the same way. Because otherwise there were people eating cooked food around me, and there I was eating my fruit. And sometimes I felt sorry for myself, but not enough to go off the path. But when I was with Dr. Rashmi, it was like, I have my own army now. Because I was hanging out with like 2-3 other friends who were eating cooked, but we were 2 people who were eating this. And they would sometimes look at us and wonder if they were missing something.
Yeah.
Because we were having so much fun, and we were full of energy, and we were enjoying ourselves. And we explored some raw food restaurants together, and it was a lot of fun. We met other raw foodists, especially Sarah, where we really enjoyed having this banana passion fruit ice cream. I even made a little video about it and put it on my Insta. So it's really fun to have other people join you, even if it is for a small part. And even when I drove from from Gurgaon to Goa through Gwalior, but I had my friend Preeta, and she was so inspired that she was eating all fruit with me all day long. She would have a cooked meal in the evening, but she also enjoyed it because she had company. So it's a good idea to have some like-minded people on the journey with you. So my question to you was, what motivated you to go raw?
So the idea of raw, people eating raw was something very, very alien to me. But since I was exploring food, I was also coming across these stories of how people are healing their chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases by eating raw. And I also remember the one lady, some Miss Gandhi, I don't remember the name right now. This is so many years back, who was completely on raw food to heal her side effects from chemotherapy while she was on cancer. It had come in the Times of India long back, but it was just on the back of my mind because I was still not ready for this knowledge, ready to go walk this path. Then I was doing this, teaching these doctors in the Other Song Academy in Mumbai, which is a homeopathic academy for further studies. And I was setting up a unit there of whole food plant-based. And we were having patients who were taking homeopathy, but were doing the whole food plant-based. And there was this one child who was like 10, 11 years old, and he had Crohn's disease. And from all the reading that I have done, of the experience sharing of others, I knew that this would be a perfect fit for this child, to put him on high raw at least, if not completely raw. But I myself was not raw. And for a 10-year-old child to be put on raw, I myself couldn't understand, oh, how would he go through it? Would it be enjoyable, So I needed to experience it first. So I said, everybody takes a New Year's resolution. So I said, okay, for 1 month from January 1st, I'll try to eat raw, so that I'll be better equipped to teach how to do it to the mother, so that she can prepare good stuff, tasty stuff for the child, so he will not feel deprived. And I started on this on the 1st of Jan.
Which year is this?
2016.
Okay, 2016. Sorry, I'm just getting my...
And then I started enjoying it, so I stuck to it. It was as simple as that. And even then, even now, I have no agenda that I will be raw lifelong, I'll be raw till this time or that time. No, only thing I'm very, very certain about is that I will be vegan lifelong. What else my journey goes is, I don't know where it goes, but yeah, that's what I set off to. And I feel that that has helped me, because I'm not somebody who can fit into rigid disciplinary life. I cannot do that. I have tried and I've failed. So for me, this is what works: keeping an open space, open understanding, and connecting with my body, intuitively eating. And yes, it did help my patient a lot. He was not completely raw, but high raw, about 80% raw, and his symptoms went down. His blood markers were improving, and the parents were very pleased. And because of
How
this,
long did it take for that to happen?
Around a year.
Around 1 year. For Crohn's.
Yeah, for Crohn's. And it's not that the disease, he does has to have to be careful, because if he eats anything junk outside, he will have an exacerbation. But now the child understands. Now he's adult now, but he understands that his issues are not because his body is wrong, but because he's taking the wrong food. And in fact, these symptoms are good. So he doesn't get panicked, nor do his parents get panicked now, so that they know, okay, now this is because I ate something raw or bad, and the body is just throwing it out. So that was a very good experience. So even now, I try to put my patients on high raw, but I don't completely advocate raw, especially to patients who are just starting out, because it becomes difficult for them. But those who are ready, I put them directly on raw.
Yeah. Great, thank you. And what is your advice for people who are struggling with health issues? Like many of our audience may be here because they have some health issue. It could be small, it could be big. What would be your advice to them?
First of all, connect with your body, and connect with it with a sense of listening. Many a times we are in a hurry to get over our ailment. We don't pause. We don't pause with it. We don't sit with it. We don't try to understand what is happening. Most of our ailments are coming from us not listening to the body. So even when the body is in pain, yes, we want to get out of the pain, but how about just sitting for a minute with the pain before reaching out for that painkiller or reaching out for any remedies? Acceptance, I feel, is the first part of healing. It's like if I have a lot of kachra on my desk and I deny that there is kachra on my desk, I'll never get to cleaning it. The same goes for our body. If we are in denial and we think that, okay, there's no problem, or this is not something I want to address, we will never get to it. So sit with it for a while. Maybe today you're not ready to address it, but a day will come when you will actually understand what your body is trying to tell you. And when we are intuitively working with the body rather than working against it or working for it, we are just working with the body, then I have seen that naturally our food habits also start getting clean, because eating wrong food is actually punishment for the body. And we start realizing that it is actually harming us. So I feel connecting with the body is the first thing. Do not run away from your problems. Don't even think of it as problems. Think of it as your body talking to you. And then take whatever step you're ready for. It's not that everyone will be ready to go and find the core issue and heal it, but maybe some shift will happen.
Okay, so let's take a little break and understand the audience. Let's see if they have some questions. And whoever wishes to ask a question can use the raise hand button, and I will then invite you to speak and unmute you. Thank you, Indira ji. Somebody's from Tanzania. That's great. Somebody's saying they lost 2 kgs. Okay, one of my, this is, whose question is this? Harsha. Harsha, are you there? You can open your video and raise your hand. She says, one of my friend who is raw vegan has low BP and her family are worried. My second question is, you lose weight and you lose your muscle mass and a lot of wrinkles in hand and face. I guess you mean when you go raw vegan, or somebody who sheds weight when they go raw vegan, I guess. Yeah, Harsha, please go ahead and ask your question. I've asked you to unmute yourself. Sorry, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, one of my friend who is following Rupa Shah, and she has I think she has consulted her also, and now she is following raw vegan. She has lost weight, and but what has happened is hands, and because she had good weight, now she has lost her muscle mass, and her hands and all are full of wrinkles. Even her face has come down, and like she doesn't look good, like how not the fat part, but she like the her appearance has totally changed. So, and another thing is, recently when we both had gone to a bank, we both had a general checkup. It was a free checkup, and her BP had come out very low, very low.
So what's your question, Harsha?
Yeah, that what is the reason the food is right, the whole plant-based food is correct, but the thing is, what is the reason for this wrinkles and the low BP? And she is normal with the BP, but
how much was the BP? Do you know?
Her BP was 93/64 or something.
Okay.
So the people, the doctors who were sitting were worried that you check your cholesterol and cholesterol, or do your lipid profile and find out what is the reason for low BP. Okay. And she had a proper BP 120/80 when she was taking her cooked food.
Okay.
So actually, I want to. She was thinking about it, so I asked you.
So Rashmi, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Okay. So first question about the wrinkles or the loss of, or the skin hanging out, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is, when your body has gathered a lot of fat, your skin has expanded to fit in the cells, fat cells. So whichever method you use, when you lose the fat, your skin will shrink. Okay. Now what happens is, over time, when your body has not accumulating more and more fat, your body is very intelligent. That's when the skin starts reaccumulating inside and the wrinkles go away. Of course, age-related wrinkles are there. Our body is meant to perish, so some will be there. But the hanging of the skin, which happens whenever, even in a bariatric surgery, after the patient loses weight, you will see that. And usually the doctors will tell you to cut the skin off and stitch it, which again is not required. As long as you follow a healthy lifestyle and you do enough exercise, the skin does get back to its original position. So, but yes, initially you will see all these changes, just like when you go on any clean diet, even from junk diet to a whole food plant-based diet, you will have a space wherein your body is changing. You'll have some detox symptoms. This becomes a part of that thing. Okay. Now, another thing about blood pressure is all of us have slight variations in this in the rainbow of the blood pressure. While for the convenience of us doctors, we have put it into one particular square. And right now, it is all over the place where that square is. So first thing to do is, am I feeling good? Are there any symptoms of blood pressure happening? If it is not, then it doesn't matter what is shown on the blood pressure meter. Second, go for a full body checkup, get a complete blood test done, so you know exactly where you stand. Again, when you have just started on a clean diet, you cannot expect your body to be 100% clean. You have to give it at least 3 months and then go for a blood test and see where your parameters lay. Okay, but yes, if you're getting worried about it, if you're having questions about it, you need to connect with like-minded people. Otherwise, you will lose track, and the worry itself will create another problem.
Yeah.
That is the
Right.
reason why I don't put all my patients on raw, because even if it is the ideal diet, if they don't have the support system, it can cause problems on the mind level and then cause problems on the physical level because of it. That's why a support group is very important. Like the support group that Nandini has, it's a beautiful support group. The support group that Gaurav has, very beautiful support group. Because when we are starting something new, we need a support group. If the support is not there, then we need to take small steps ahead. So first of all, tell your friend to get a complete blood test done, and tell her to connect with the support groups. Or if she wants, she can take a consult with me. Or if she's following Dr. Rupa Shah, she's very beautifully, a beautiful person, very, intuitive, and she listens well. So she can discuss the problems with her, and she will provide her a solution for it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I
Thank
would
you.
request people to keep your questions about yourself. That is usually the best.
Yeah.
And not about other people who may not be here, because it's not exactly right.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what is happening with them. We are just looking at what we see of them. The
Correct.
story can be completely different.
Okay. Ashish Kumar, you'll have to switch on your video if you want to be able to ask a question. Smita has asked me, can people, and by the way, you can ask questions, आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं, अगर किसी को हिंदी में बात करनी है, तो वो भी हो सकता है. Smita has asked me, can people with diabetes be on an all-fruit diet? Yes, they can, but under supervision. It depends, especially if you're on medication, you have to be under supervision. Both of a physician, either your physician or some other physician who can help you with the medications, and also whoever is the coach who's guiding you, be under their supervision, because they're usually trained to help you. So that answers that question. Ashish, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. And Ashish wants to find out about his tinnitus, vertigo, high BP, and so on. Go ahead, Ashish.
Thank you, Nandini, for hosting this session. Great to be interacting with you, Dr. Rashmi. Dr. Rashmi, I wanted to understand, can one just start on a raw diet, or should a doctor's consultation or some checkup be done before one starts on it? That is number one. And number two, raw means just raw, or is there a balanced raw diet one should have, so that it kind of, like you have a balanced cooked diet, is there a balanced raw diet? These are two questions that I have.
Yeah. So yes, it's always good to know where you stand before you start anything. Okay, the reason being that even if it is the best lifestyle shift that is happening, if you go for a test later and then you find some problem, that can disrail you from the life path that you are following. So before you start anything, just get a complete blood test done, so you know where you stand before you go take the next step. Now, just like whole food plant-based diet, even when you eat raw, you have to start with where you are. Okay, if you are somebody who has mental satisfaction from eating 4 meals a day, you have to make it like that. Because otherwise, like I said, the mind is a big culprit. It can play games and put you out of the track. Otherwise, when you eat intuitively, you will realize that you don't need to stick to 3 meals a day. You don't need to include exactly the things that we feel are required. But yes, initially, please go ahead and ensure that you're having whatever is locally available as far as it is raw, and also check with your system what you're feeling. Like I said, if you have a support system who can take you through the detox process, then jump into it right away. But if you don't have a support system, then take one step at a time and slowly ease your body into the raw diet. Simply because when we eat cooked meals, especially refined meals, our intestines stop functioning in a point. They stop the villi in the intestine. They got stick together, and the food, so that the food can just be thrown out because there's no fiber in it. When we start eating raw, there's a lot of fiber, and our mouth also is not used to chewing so much. So we just gulp, automatically gulp. That becomes an auto reaction, and that causes heaviness in your stomach, that causes pain in your stomach, gases in your stomach. If you don't have good microbes, when you eat raw food, the good bacteria will start growing, and for some time you will have some amount of bloating, some amount of gases happening, and this can all look like unhealthy symptoms to you, even though it is actually the body coming back to its original natural space, but it can feel like disease to you. So if you don't have a support system, go slow, because you have your whole life ahead of you. As long as your goal is clear, take one step at a time and be with it for some time, then take the next step. That also works.
Sure.
I
Thank
also think it's a good, sorry, did you want to say something?
Now, I just wanted to check how could one connect with Dr. Rashmi to schedule a consultation and take this forward?
Yeah, you can take my number and send me a WhatsApp message.
You can put your details in the chat to everyone. People can just take it from there. And I also wanted to add that it's a good idea to do all your blood reports before you start something like this. Because then when you finish, let's say you do it for 2 months or 3 months, then you can recheck your blood levels again and see what progress you have made. That's what I did actually for my raw journey recently. And, I had some amazing results in several areas. So it's always very heartening to do that. And it's also scientific, so that, you don't have anything that's surprising that comes up.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Whoever wants to ask a question, please, whoever's raised their hand, please put it in the chat also, so I have an idea roughly what the question is. Sonal has put a very long one. So Sonal, I'm just going to unmute you so you can ask your question.
Hi, Dr. Rashmi. Hello, Nandini.
Hi.
So, Dr. Rashmi, it's great to connect with you. And I have some similar kind of stomach-related issues. So I think you are as well as mental, some issues currently. I think you are the right person whom I am meeting now today, courtesy Nandini. So it's a little long story. I'll keep it short. I know we have short of time. So Nandini, Dr. Rashmi, I have a few issues, like I have multiple diverticulums in my and gallbladder sludge, liver hemangiomas. Okay. And this was found out probably 9-10 months back. And I went through 2 tragic incidents in my life. 2 of my very close people, my mother and my younger sister, passed away a year back. So that was a big blow to me, and that was a big trigger for these issues to come up, actually. Before that, I used to be generally 90 kg of weight, and right now I'm 60 kg of weight, which I had never seen this kind of body weight ever. I was finding even losing 1 kg was a big challenge for me. I was not able to lose. I was always an overweight guy. So now I'm an underweight guy. And I'm finding it very difficult to gain back. even 1 kg. So it was just going sliding down. It was very tough for me. And so I had huge number of stomach pains and many issues I was having. I met a lot of allopathic doctors, a lot of tests, psychiatrists, taken medicines for 4, 5, 6 months, and then went to homeopathy doctor. That doctor I really liked, and I'm taking his medicine for last 6 months now, and that has kind of improved me. Last 2 months back, I gone into fruit diet, and that really helped me in my energy going up. So I did that for 21 days in a stretch. So that was very good. And but somehow I thought बहुत हो गया, अभी थोड़ा सा salads पे जाना चाहिए, थोड़ा normal करना चाहिए. So I kind of slipped it a little bit a month back. And उसको मैंने थोड़ा सा अभी mornings में up to 12 I was having fruits, but 2 meals में cook लेने लगा, but less cook but cook लेने लगा. तो अभी but pains कुछ वापस आने लगे, and few more problems started coming back, and weight बढ़ रहा अभी. Good news is that it started gaining little bit last 2 weeks से थोड़ा बढ़ रहा है weight, and तो अभी मैंने देखा कि pains बढ़ रहे हैं, तो then I am going reducing my cooked meals and increasing my fruits. That's what I, one meal, full meal of normal cooked food, and morning and nights, evenings only fruits. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I have some depression issues. I have some mental issues right now. I'm still going through grief of my sister and mother. तो वो भी मेजरली मेरे को इम्पैक्ट करता है. माइंड बहुत जो माइंड बहुत प्ले करता है मेरे साथ. तो जस्ट seek good blessings and good healing. What do you have for me? And I'll meet you. I'll contact you. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, over to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as long as you are seeing the effect of it, I think you should not focus much on the weight, but focus more on how you're feeling. If the energy is good, if you're able to do everything, then don't focus too much on the weight, because weight can create another anxiety, right? Yeah. So as long as the body is healing, that's what the body will focus on. It will not focus on storing energy. It will focus on healing. So just keep your focus on when you wake up in the morning, look at, am I feeling good inside my body? Am I able to do the activities of daily living? And that's it. That's what is important. Right?
Fine, doctor. I'll connect you for a detailed one.
Yes.
Thanks, Nandini. All right. Thanks, Sonal. So everybody who's raised their hand, you need to be on video. Otherwise, I won't be able to ask you to ask your question. Somebody who's not able to talk because they're in some noisy place. Sweetie, she has asked, can you give some suggestions for endometrioma cysts? I have cysts on my right side of the ovary, and it causes pain during periods and ovulation.
This is a hormonal issue. So to take care of your hormones, your body has to be clean first. Secondly, it has to be as clean of chemicals as possible. So chemicals not only in the food that you eat, but also what you apply on your skin, what is there in the environment. That is very important when it comes to any kind of hormonal issues. Diet, we are already speaking about how fruit diet is good, how raw diet is good, how whole food plant-based is good. Along with it, you need to be careful about the chemicals, because any hormonal issues, chemicals are a big disruptor. And when it comes to hormonal issues, when it comes to autoimmune diseases or cancer, you have to have more patience, because it took a lot of time for your body to create this disease. So it will take that much time for it to reverse it. It's not like diabetes or blood pressure or asthma. Even asthma can reverse very fast. But hormonal issues, you have to be patient with it. And at least don't go for another sonography, at least for 6 months. Clean up your diet, clean up your environment, and then wait for 6 months before you go for next sonography and see how it changes. Does that answer your question?
I hope it answers your question, sweetie. You can put it in the chat if you have something to say. Sheetal and Bharti, what is your question? You've not written it in the chat, Bharti. Reema, also, you haven't written your question in the chat. If you can give me a brief headline about your question, then we can go ahead with it. Sheetal has written the question, but Sheetal has not raised a hand. So let me ask you Sheetal's question. I'm vegan since 3 years and now on fruits only diet with some cheats in between. but my weight loss is very slow, as I see many people losing lots of kilos in short time on this way of eating. What could be the reason? What do I need to do? Sheetal wants to know.
Again, I feel that focusing on weight is not what we need to do. We need to focus on how we are feeling inside our body, because we all have a specific ideal body weight in which our body functions the best. If we go below that weight, then also we will not function well. If we go beyond that, then also we will not function well. So let our body decide what is the ideal weight for it, rather than having a number in our head that we need to reach there. As long as your body is functioning well and you're feeling very good in your body and you can do more with your body, isn't that what we require, right? So try to focus on that. And the weight loss, I mean, you might not even require to lose so much weight.
Thank you. Monica Singh, do you want to ask your question or do you want me to ask it for you? So if you want to ask the question, you can come on video and raise your hand. That way I can unmute and ask you to come forward. She said that my husband, My husband had a MI and a heart attack in Feb 2022. He was on medications and rest for 2 months. We shifted to whole food plant-based. He's doing well, feeling much better. Kindly suggest what all fruits and veggies he should take, which should be good for his cardiovascular and overall health.
So is he still on medicines?
Let's assume he is.
Okay. So then a whole food plant-based diet, which is focusing more on local and seasonal, is very good, but you need to keep a check of the blood pressure, and if he has diabetes, on the blood sugar as well. Because on medicines, you never know when the dip will happen, and that can be more dangerous. So you need to work with your cardiologist as you're shifting your diet, and ensure that you're keeping a record so that you can share it with the cardiologist. And because the doctor needs to have some proof that this is going right. Otherwise, how can the doctor just remove your medicines? So if you are keeping regular note of it, that empowers the doctor to take off the medicines. And then focus on eating whichever is local and whichever is seasonal. Now, there are no miracle foods. There are no superfoods. Every food is superfood. Any food that you overdo will create a problem. Any food that you completely avoid can also create a problem. So focus on local, seasonal. And don't go by these fears that this is bad, this is good. No, as long as it is seasonal, as long as it is local, and it is as close to its original form as possible, then you're doing it right. Okay, nice. But keep a check of your blood pressure. If the diabetes is there, keep a check of your blood sugar, because that is very important.
Thank you. Bharti wants to ask a question, so let me bring her on. Bharti, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I've already started having more of raw food. Like we have plate 1, plate 2. First we have the salad, and then we have the cooked food. And breakfast also we have only fruits. We don't have anything cooked in breakfast. For osteoporosis, I wanted to ask for more of calcium, how should we focus on that?
So the problem with the regular Indian diet or the standard diets are that we focus a lot on proteins, especially animal proteins. So instead of, increasing or adding more, we need to figure out what to decrease more. For example, in my case, I was not adding anything. I was just removing the dairy, and that was enough. Because the moment I removed the stuff that is actually depleting my body of calcium, whatever food was there was providing the calcium. The problem was that
I've stopped dairy products. I've stopped already.
Very good. So your body has the capacity now to absorb the calcium in your food. Because unlike what we say that green leaves have calcium in it, and even some amount of greens have calcium in it, some fruits have calcium in it. Calcium is there in almost every food that we eat.
Yeah.
The problem is that our body has lost the capacity to absorb it because of the wrong things that are going in. So as long as you're cleared up your diet, just be on it. Eat as clean as possible and wait for 3 months and go and get your blood check done and see if your calcium, where your calcium levels are. Rather than aiming for foods that are high in calcium, let's look at foods which are already there.
The bone density is low.
Yeah. So then wait for 6 months then, because the calcium levels in the blood will go up and then it will go into the bones and then go for another DEXA scan and see how it is. Right.
Okay.
But as long as you're doing this diet, ensure that no heavy foods are going in, low protein, because we focus a lot on dals, even if it is not animal protein, and it creates acidity. If the acidity in your body is high, the bone density will go down because the calcium will be depleted from the bones. So as long as you're eating a lot of fruits, focusing high on raw and very minimal cooked food that is not focusing on regular dals, you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Also,
Anything
yeah, another thing
particular-
is sunlight.
Yeah.
Vitamin D is important. So be in the sunlight. But if you are in places where sunlight is difficult, then get a blood test done and supplement if needed. But sunlight is very important for calcium absorption.
And calcium tablets is okay. No, we are taking that.
No, that can actually create a problem in your body.
Okay.
They can go to your kidneys and can cause kidney stones. Anything in the form of a supplement can be a problem because one, it is very heavy, more dosage, half of it is not absorbed and it has to be thrown out of the body. So in the long run, it affects your liver and it affects your kidneys. Instead, try to get it from the food itself. Of course, this is just a generic advice that I'm giving. I don't know your case, right? I have not seen your blood work.
I think it's a good idea in this case to seek a consultation.
Exactly.
Take a proper, so that the health history and everything else is taken into account.
And then I can advise you further, because how long have you been on supplements? I will have to see that. What is the position of your body today? I have to see that. And then wean it off. That's what can be done.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Bharti.
Thank you so much.
So Ravi Kumar, please go ahead and ask the question.
Good evening, all of you. And it's an excellent session, and thank you very much. Special thanks to Dr. Ashish for sharing this particular program. My question to doctor is that what are the precautions to be taken related to high BP? Is it advisable to start raw and food diet, or what are the do's and don'ts associated with that?
So like I was talking,
I'm not on medication.
Huh.
But otherwise, I think quite last maybe more than 6 to 8 years, I've been diagnosed with high BP. But most of the cases I manage with mother tincture. That is probably you may be aware with homeopathy mother tincture. The moment I notice that it is normal, then again I stop it. Usually my BP ranges between maybe about 140, 150 by about 90 to 100 and all. But there are no symptoms associated with that. And usually in most of the timings very energetic, and even after I wake up, it is quite active and normal. But still, I thought definitely I should take some precautions what it is required.
So first advice would be not to self-medicate, especially with mother tinctures.
Okay. No, that mother tincture I'm taking only upon the advice of the one MD doctor in homeopathy.
Okay. So like I was saying right in the beginning, we all try to look for easy methods out, right? So even homeopathy can become a crutch. So don't let it be a crutch. Clean out your lifestyle. We have been speaking about how raw food helps, how fruits help, how whole food plant-based food help, right? So focus on that. Wherever you are you on a whole food plant-based diet right now?
Sorry?
Are you on a whole food plant-based diet right now?
No. Actually, This is a little background again I have to give you. I think almost. I
Actually,
used to-
sorry, can I please interrupt? Because we are short on time, just one
No,
second.
in half minute I will
Uh,
complete. Just
One
wait.
second. Dr.
Maybe-
Rashmi, how much time do you have? Like
I
how
have
much?
about 15 minutes more.
15 minutes. So can you please ask in the next 30 seconds, whatever you need to ask, because there are many people with raised hands.
Yeah, please, thanks. Earlier, I used to be about 120 kgs, almost 119 to 120. I think after, during COVID, the kind of a cautions I have taken, I have come down to 72. Now it is in between 77 and 78, stably, consistently maintaining. So that is what it is related to weight is concerned, number one. Number two, maybe about the last almost 6 to 8 months, mostly I'm on to either liquid diet or otherwise to say, mostly onto the semi vegetable diet. That is what.
Okay, so I think this is something that you need to probably discuss with her in person, because liquid diet, semi-vegetable, all this we have not been talking about, because
Yeah.
you're someone new, you're not from our network. So I suggest that you take down her number. If you can just share it again, whoever has the number, just share it again in the chat box. And I think it may be a better idea for you to connect with her one-to-one. Is that okay?
Done. Thanks.
Yeah, because
I will
it's a
note
very
it. I will
specific
send it.
kind of case.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rashmi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ketaki, do you want to ask your question?
Hi. Hi, yes. So I have been trying to go on raw food many times. And so till now, till 1 month, I successfully I can go. I went on the raw food and I had a lot of amazing results, but somehow the circumstances comes where I cannot continue, or whether I'm not in that surrounding area where I can continue to go on raw food. So going on and off, will it impact health? And so right now I'm off on raw food and I'm facing a lot of hair fall. So my question was that is going on and off impacts the health? And the another thing is, can I start doing pranayam with the raw food lifestyle? And the third one is, do I need any vitamins to supplement? Because my B12 levels are really low.
Hmm. So again, depends on how are you yo-yoing. If you're jumping from a raw food diet to a junk food diet, that is a huge shift for the body, right? And then when you go back on raw food, the body has to do the cleansing, the detoxing, everything again and again and again. So even if you're not able to eat raw food, at least eat clean, right?
Okay.
Eat zero oil, do not eat any processed food, so that the jump is not too high. And whatever said and done, you can always eat fruits, right? You can keep on fruits till till lunch. You can have salads before meals, salad before dinner. So at least ensure that there is enough raw food going in. Because if you jump from here and there, your body will have to go through the whole process again and again. It's like, you are giving your 10th standard exams and coming back to first standard again. So you don't want that happen. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's always good to at least annually check your blood levels. And at least everything else you can get from the food that you eat. B12 and D are the only two things. So if you are having enough of raw food, then the B12 also your body does create. And the sunlight, your D can come. But sometimes when we live in, especially for me also, sometimes I can feel that my D is like going down because I live on the 10th floor in an apartment with hardly any sunlight coming in. So when I feel that, then I go and check and then I supplement for a short duration. So when you live in a city, sometimes you will have to do this. But otherwise, ever since I'm eating raw, I have not had to supplement on a regular basis. But always get your blood levels done and then accordingly supplement with the help of your local doctor so that, you're not overdoing the supplementation. Okay.
And the pranayams are okay to
Yeah,
do with
yeah. Pranayam you can do with any kind of diet,
Okay.
provided you're on empty stomach, because they
Oh.
work best on empty stomach. In fact, you can use your breath to connect with your body, and then
Yeah.
that connection can actually help you to choose better foods for your body.
Oh,
But
nice.
don't just
That
do
I didn't know.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't just do it and count, okay, Anlom Vilom. No, connect with your body, connect with your stomach, and your body will tell you, it will lead you towards the clean path.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I wanted to just ask, because this actually, we have something called the Natural Detox Inner Circle, and we meet every Thursday. So this is their meeting time. So I would like to ask if there's anybody from the inner circle, you can raise your hand and wave at me, and I will let you ask the question, because we just opened it up to everybody, so anybody could come and ask questions today. We'll just take one more question. If there's anybody there, okay, Monica, please go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead. So that's Dr. Monica, and we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Now I can hear you. Oh, no, can't hear you. आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी. आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Hello, now am I audible now? Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, I'll briefly ask this thing. Kindly suggest some books which a holistic health practitioner can read. Yeah, I am MBBS allopathic doctor, but I kind of try to integrate everything and give suggestions to patients. So, which books would you recommend?
For whole food plant-based, there are lots of books. There's Dr. Nandita Shah's book about diabetes. There are so many. The China study is a very good book. But if you ask me, I think I am not someone who goes from reading. I go with more with experience. So if you want to really advise your patients well, you need to experience it yourself. So once you're in the mode of experiencing, then you are more empowered to advise, So yes, you can go for all these books. There is How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger, which is also
that's one of my favorites. I was
Yeah.
also going to suggest that. How Not to Die, Dr.
Yeah.
Michael Greger.
So you can read that to understand the basics. So, but then nothing beats experience.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to ask you some closing questions, and then we'll call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for coming as well. So what is the one change you want to see in the world? I know we want to see many changes. But
Yeah.
if you were given a wish and something would be different, what is the one change?
The one change definitely would be for humans to treat other creatures, other beings as equals, to understand the interconnectivity of our existence, to know that. So that the one thing that really irritates me is when humans think that we are superior beings to others. In fact, there's so much to learn from the beings around us, from the plants, from the animals. We can just open up to that. We would create such a more compassionate world. That would be my number one wish.
Okay, I have a corollary question. What is the one thing you wish everyone knew about health? Like if they just do that, everybody could be so much better. There's something like that.
Yes. Understand that fruits are our primary food. They are our fast food, original fast food. I mean, we are so much caught up in complicating stuff that we don't look at the simplest of things. So rather than adding stuff to our diet, to our life, if we can remove it, the more we remove, the lighter we become and the more we heal. So what is the easiest thing to eat? There, the fruits are right there. The trees are willing to give it to us. We just have to take it even from the ground, bite into it and eat it. Simple as that. So if people understood this, rather than complicating, adding more stuff, processing it, removing one thing, adding another thing, we can just let it all go and just be. The universe is taking care of us.
I know it would save so much time,
Much
so much
time, so much
hassle, so much
energy.
thinking, all that kitchen space, all that equipment, all those vessels and pots and pans and cookers and kadais.
I always say I became raw because I'm lazy.
Yes.
And I'm proud of my laziness. I would
It
just
is the lazy
be-
man's food.
Exactly. So much space for so much else to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful. And how can people connect with you? What is it that you
So
offer? How can people connect? Just tell
I
me.
am kind of a recluse. So yes, I am available on Instagram as Doctor's Health Secrets. And I have shared my number here on the chat. So I don't respond to calls, but I do respond to WhatsApp messages. So the best way to connect with me would be either to send me an email on the email ID I have shared, or to send me a WhatsApp message. Not a hi, hello, but exactly what you want to connect to me about. That would be a good way. Yeah.
Okay. So that's great. And you could even send me like a little poster or some information, a text message, and I can put it on the group on which everybody is, where they got the information about this meeting.
Sure.
And also for those of you who are not from the Natural Detox Inner Circle, I have this Inner Circle membership, which is very inexpensive. And we do such kinds of things. Once a month, we have a special guest. And otherwise, we meet every Thursday, and we have a private Facebook group and a private WhatsApp group. And people can always ask questions. And there are, it helps to stay in touch with the community. So if anybody wants information on that, you can just message me on WhatsApp or on Insta or Facebook, wherever you have come from. Can you mention can you actually write your Insta handle in the chat box, Dr. Rashmi? Somebody has asked for it.
Yes,
She's
just done
already
it.
Doctor's Health Secrets. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to open it for everybody. I'm just going to, so we can all say thanks, and anybody else has anything to say. I'm going to take us off from the spotlights. There we go. So we can see everybody, and give me 1 second. I'm going to ask people can unmute themselves if they want. Kalpi, do you want to say something?
No, it was a good session. Thank you, Nandini. Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank you.
And I have been a homeopathy patient for many years, and I would like to connect with you regarding cell salts. I have some questions.
Sure.
But it's early morning. I'm a little bit sleepy and tired because I didn't sleep well. So I will ask you questions about homeopathy.
Sure, no problem. We can always connect.
Yeah, on WhatsApp.
Anybody wishes to say anything, you can unmute, you can show your video. It's always nice to see people. And you can say whatever you want to Dr. Rashmi directly, or to each other, or to me.
Thank you, Dr. Rashmi.
Rashmi and Nandini.
Hey, Mayavi.
Hey, Mayavi.
Mayavi is a colleague as well. We're all together on a group together, and Mayavi is also so inspiring with her health journey and her amazing food and her tiffins that she supplies.
Yeah.
If anybody needs tiffins in Bombay, please connect with Mayavi, and she supplies whole food plant-based tiffins. So if you're trying to eat raw food or fruit and you're getting cooked cravings, please don't go to oily, maida, sugar, all of that. Please, at least if you're eating cooked, eat healthy, whole food, plant-based cooked. If you need to for some time. And then you can come back to raw. It will not be such a big shock for your body.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to say anything?
I have eaten Mayavi's tiffins. They are wonderful.
Absolutely delicious.
And
Any
eat it.
recommendation for any tiffins in Chandigarh?
Maybe you can put your tiffin detail and your number. Somebody has asked for it. So you can go ahead and do that. Anybody else wishes to say something or ask something? We'll close in 1 minute. So thank you everybody for joining today. It has been an absolute pleasure to host you, Dr. Rashmi, and
Thank you,
get your
Ranjani.
wisdom from your own experience and from your clinical experience that you have with your patients. Actually, I'm very interested in one more question, which is tell us about some very special patient of yours that really transformed and that makes you believe more and more in what you are right now practicing and teaching other people. A small example.
There are so many patients. In fact, one patient who is suffering from schizophrenia, she underwent a huge change. Of course, schizophrenia cannot be cured, but there was a huge change in the way the voices were speaking when she went on a whole food plant-based diet, on very high raw diet. And it was difficult for her, but I also do consultations, counseling consultations. So in the counseling sessions, I could see a huge change in the way the voices were speaking. They were less intrusive, they were less violent, they were there, but it was very good. And the other case was of a 55-year-old person who was suffering from psoriasis. And he was under a naturopath's care since a long, long time, but the naturopath passed away. So he came to me, and he, although with a very, very busy lifestyle, he followed it to a T. And it took 1 year, but he says right from the age of 5, he has had psoriasis, and he would never wear full sleeves or, half pants. And after a year, he shared with me that he went on a vacation and he, for the first time in his life, wore shorts and half sleeves because his psoriasis was no longer shedding. When he would sit, it would actually shed all over the place. And now it was no longer shedding. There were no new lesions. The old lesions had completely covered over. He no longer needed all those lotions and everything that he was using. And he was like 55. And this had started at the age of 5. And I had not even done too much of mind exercise, just few sessions with him. It was mostly about food and about sun exposure and how to eat and drink. And he followed it to a T. And that's what I feel, that as long as you are committed to your body and to your well-being, you never know what you can achieve as long as you're connected with your body. But if you still feel that somebody else is responsible for your health, then that's a losing game. Your wife is not responsible for your health. Your doctor is not responsible for your health. It is you who is responsible. If you can take up that responsibility, I'm sure there'll be miracles happening in each one of your lives.
That is so empowering, and that is so true, because even in my life, I was not happy with what the doctors were telling me. They told me I had to be on medication for the rest of my life. My doctor 15 years ago, who diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis, said that I could be in a wheelchair by the time I'm in my mid-50s. I'm in my mid-50s now. And, all sorts of things. And I was just not happy. And I somehow knew that, they don't know enough. They cannot guide me properly. And I am responsible for my own health. And when I took that decision, the universe kind of came in with its support. And we are so connected. We've been connected for so many years. Videos, books, movies. Somebody was asking about books. I can even recommend a film called What the Hell?
Yeah.
On Netflix. There's another one called Forks Over Knives. There's another one called The Game Changers. You see any one of these and the others will start popping up because of, the intelligent algorithms will start understanding that you're looking for films about wellness and health through nutrition. So What the Health is one of the good ones that you can watch on Netflix, or The Game Changers, which is about plant-based athletes. And somebody asked me how to join the inner circle. So right now, my best offer is the basic detox package, which includes a 6-month membership to the inner circle, both my cookbooks, and a one-to-one 75-minute consultation with me. So you can check that out. And Dr. Rashmi has already put out her information. So we are here, and we are also on social media. You can follow us there, and you can connect with us over there. And from time to time, whatever we are doing, we keep sharing it over there and putting it up, and also giving general motivation and inspiration. So thank you everybody for being here tonight, for spending your evening with us. And thank you, Dr. Rashmi, for being here, for answering all the questions so patiently and sharing your experience and wisdom.
Thank you, Nandini.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.